What's good, YouTube? It's your boy King Ray Kage, and I'm back with another video. And in today's video, we're gonna be doing WWE Elimination Chamber 2021 with your boy.
What's up? It's the kids, Seven the Bond, H3T, Hoodie Fish, Little Deer Park, the whole brigade. You know the checks coming in. Cha-ching!
All right, now, so before we get into this, I know you guys can probably tell that I'm in a different setting. This is my brother's room. Do not ask why, but I'm kind of digging the mic being up all the way up here instead of all the way down there. But yeah, besides that, let's start. You have any comments? Oh, by the way, I apologize for not doing. Literally, I did a 2021 fucking goals for this year, and one of my goals was to do every fucking pay-per-view on fucking WWE, a review of it. And guess what? the first fucking review that comes up is the Royal Rumble, and guess what? We fucking missed it. Anyway, life
Part of
fucking
that
happens.
was my fault, though. Part of that was my fault.
Oh, part of it was my fault too, because I was ready as soon as it finished, but he wasn't. And then the next day, I was ready and he wasn't ready. No, wait. I think I'm fucking this shit up. He was ready. I was ready, on the day of, and he wasn't. And then the next day, he was ready and I wasn't ready because fortunately I fucking decided to go to work. But shit, you can't really do anything about it,
As soon as the NBA season ends, it's going to be so much easier to do this or whatever because there's always a fucking game.
Right, yeah.
And
on the same thing, on that topic, it's gonna be way easier because WWE's like around, every fucking week, regardless of the fucking day.
Yeah.
So even on the off season, we're still gonna have episodes and fucking more fucking pay-per-views to do anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, we apologize sincerely for not doing Royal Rumble. It was a great pay-per-view, in my opinion. Right people won. Just to brief it up, and let's just go ahead and start with the Elimination Chamber match. We can probably like talk about the Royal Rumble after, just because I feel like we owe it to you guys. But yeah, let's start with the SmackDown Elimination Chamber match, where is your man Jey Uso, Kevin Owens, King Corbin, Sami Zayn, Cesaro, Daniel Bryan, and the winner will face Roman Reigns for the Universal Championship match on the same night.
That was stupid off rip. I just want to just throw it out there. I get how that's like creative of like, oh, it's not both of them are gonna go over to Mania. Like it's like, oh, it's gonna happen now. Ooh, the tension, but it's like, bro, like.
No,
that's stupid as shit.
The thing is that originally, Roman Reigns was supposed to be in the chamber match, but he told Adam Pearce that he wasn't gonna do it, and if he had a problem, to do something about it. Basically, threatening the fuck out of Pearce. But he requested for the Elimination Chamber match, and the winner would face him later on the night. I don't think the winner at the end was gonna end up seeing him like right away, especially how fucked up he was. Anyway, your thoughts about the match?
Who is Adam Pearce? Who the fuck is that?
Well, he used to be a wrestler. He's the bald guy that was gonna fight Roman Reigns. Remember?
But who the fuck is he? Is he?
He used to be a wrestler,
like a manager?
and now he's a WWE official. He's just the on-screen role of a general manager without the title, because he's not a general manager. He's just a WWE official that makes decisions.
Interesting.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, the match was. I didn't. I'm gonna let you handle it because you know how I feel about the SmackDown shit. So I'm gonna let you go with this, and I'll just jump in sporadically.
To begin off, I think it was really smart to have Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn in the same match. I think it was really fucking entertaining how how as soon as fucking Kevin Owens came out, Sami was trying to be like, hey, we used to be friends for years. They ain't got shit on us. And fucking Kevin Owens, being the heel and the face that he is, he still fucked up Sami Zayn. It was fucking hilarious. So yeah, let's take this into step by step, I guess. King Corbin was the first one to be eliminated, right? And he was eliminated by fucking uh yeah, let's not do it that way. Fuck. I forgot myself. Yeah, that's how I felt
Oh
about the match.
shit!
That's how I felt about the match. Nothing they did was memorable
Oh,
except the part where Jey Uso eliminates fucking Kevin Owens. That was the only entertaining part in the match. I feel like starting off with Cesaro and Daniel Bryan was a really good thing, but technically Cesaro's been beating Daniel Bryan for the past 3 weeks in a row.
has he?
He has. He's been fucking doing the fucking sharpshooter, and Daniel Bryan's been tapping out to his ass
On Daniel Bryan?
on Daniel Bryan. So I think they're gonna
Oh
fucking push
shit!
Cesaro, which is the fucking best.
Oh
But
shit!
I don't feel like they should have started. But at the same time, it was still entertaining. The wrestling was great.
Mm,
The stories around it were great. The
mm,
only bad part is that you had heels at some point beating up heels,
yeah,
and it kind of looked like the heel that was getting fucked up was the good guy. So I
yeah.
kind of felt bad for Sami Zayn. And when fucking Cesaro went inside the pot and started fucking ragdolling the fucking Sami Zayn through the fucking
Damn.
pot, because literally the door opened and Sami Zayn didn't want to let it open.
Mm,
So he was talking shit to Keith Corbin, and then Corbin got beat up and he was making fun of him, but the door behind him, he didn't know it was an extra door because it's only
mm,
been opening from one side. The
mm.
door behind him opened slowly. So then you got Cesaro behind him, and he looks back and he's like, "Oh no!" And Cesaro grabs him like this, he's like, "Da da da," through
Oh
the
my
fucking pod. It was
god.
fucking lit, dog. It was
That's
funny
fun.
as shit.
That's fun.
Um, so yeah, besides those little memorable moments, you can't really remember who eliminated who unless you're like, oh, Jey Uso eliminated Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens eliminated fucking Sami Zayn and Cesaro, I believe. Daniel Bryan was the winner at the end, and he beat Jey Uso. Daniel Bryan was literally the first person in there with Cesaro. I get that, sometimes there's Iron Mans and stuff, but he was fucked up. Like he could barely fucking walk. He could barely walk. I guess after the match, Roman Reigns came out. We were
Mm,
supposed to have that match later down the line, but we got it right away.
mm.
And as soon as it started, Daniel Bryan went for a face lock. Um, Fucking
And
Roman
they,
Reigns sold that shit and uh then got out. And
mm.
then from there on, it was history. Roman Reigns is still your Universal Champion. Yeah. How do you feel about the whole chamber match and the whole, Roman Reigns coming out after?
I don't particularly care for the stuff happening on SmackDown outside of literally Roman Reigns. Like, I don't care about the things surrounding it. I just care about what Roman's doing. So, as far as him being a dastardly, evil ass heel, sure, why not? I think it might have been a little redundant if it was him and Jay again. So, cool. You could have made it Cesaro. That would have been fun.
I
But
mean, having Cesaro win would actually be the best option.
yeah,
But I think they're saving it for something huge, and I think they're saving it for a reason. I feel like they're actually gonna go ahead and give the title to him at some point, but it's gonna have to be at some point in a couple months because by the looks of it, Edge will challenge Roman Reigns for the Universal Championship. And get this, this is my thoughts. I feel like Edge will beat Roman Reigns at WrestleMania and change the Universal Championship back to the World Heavyweight Championship. All right, we get you don't have pants on. Come on, Joe.
you know, let me just can I be tagged in for a second?
I guess so.
Because
You're forcing a tag.
we didn't get to do the Royal Rumble thing. So let me just say fuck Edge. Okay. I know nobody feels that way. Nobody feels that way, but fuck Edge. They let this motherfucker come through and win the goddamn Royal Rumble with all the motherfuckers in that shit. All the motherfucking possibilities for storylines. You got your biggies, all these motherfuckers, and you give it to fucking Edge. And I
I
was
mean,
like,
I mean,
okay,
to be fair, if you have a Jeff Hardy versus Edge down the line and Jeff Hardy beats him, then I mean,
but look, it's not even about that. Like in the later chamber match, I wasn't expecting Jeff to win. Like those people, like unless you're Randy fucking Orton, for some reason, you're not put in those types of positions. You're just there as a placeholder to make the current dudes look cool. Like back in the ruthless aggression era, like Kane wasn't out there laying motherfuckers out and winning championship after championship after championship after champion. He had a couple of runs here and there as a placeholder. Same thing with a Mark Henry and shit like that. But having fucking Edge win the fucking Rumble over all these other motherfuckers who need a legitimate push, you give it to fucking Edge because lemons. I was already pissed. Then you have this motherfucker come out and spear Roman Reigns. Now,
this
what
was a
was
beautiful
all this
spear.
shit you just talked about how there was all the fun stuff happening with your Sami Zayns and your Jey Usos and Cesaro and all that shit? You ain't getting none of that shit because we gotta let fucking Edge wrestle this man at WrestleMania. So guess where your Cesaros and your Keith Lees and all these motherfuckers whose time is next, they're fucking next up. Guess what they'll be? They'll be in the fucking Andre the Giant Battle Royale. So fucking Edge can main event some shit. For fucking Edge.
I mean, if they
Edge.
make a new show and then they have spread out talent, and then WrestleMania becomes a 3 night instead of a 2 night, I'm just fine. Yeah, because WrestleMania is gonna be a 2 day show. It's gonna take place April 10th and then April 11th. Good for us. Um, to kind of response to that, I kind of think that Edge was the right decision, just because he can cut promos like hell. He hasn't won a championship since he fucking vacated the world championship back in 2011. He's been out with an injury, and if you can have Goldberg come in every fucking 3 months and win a fucking Rumble and be the Universal Champion, then you could at least let it fucking slide with Edge.
But that's not okay either. It's a continuation of the same issue. It's
I'm,
just, oh, we like Edge, so it's okay. It's the same shit.
I
The
mean,
same
yeah,
thing you
but
kill Brock Lesnar for, the same thing you kill Goldberg for, is the same thing Edge is doing.
yeah, but what if it ends up giving you rivalries like Edge versus Christian, and Christian finally gets that championship?
In
Or
2021,
I mean, yeah, didn't you see? Well, if you saw the Rumble, Christian was on in great shape.
in 2021, you want to see Edge and Christian
I
in the main
mean,
event scene with all the talent they have? Fucking Shinsuke can't get out the goddamn basement. And you
listen,
want to you want to fucking see more attitude era shit 20 years later?
I mean, that's the only like spot in my heart that will end up fitting in there. So, at the moment, if they wouldn't have gone with Edge winning the Rumble, it would have been fine. Anyone else would have worked perfectly fine as well. But because they did Edge, I don't really see a problem with it, except that he fucking entered at number one and fucking won the whole shit. He is not fucking Rey Mysterio. Like, what the fuck? Anyway, that was our thoughts about the first fucking two matches, because there were two, not one, and
Two.
we ended up going over the Rumble a little bit. So let's go into the next match on the card, which was WWE Women's Champion Asuka versus To Be Decided, meaning that her opponent got fucking wrecked and wasn't able to compete. So Asuka's not in the fucking pay per view. What the fuck? Go ahead, since you're an
They're,
Asuka bandwagon.
listen, I'm actually the drummer. I'm actually the drummer on the Oscar bandwagon. And there's a flute position waiting for you. Kyrie Sane went down. She retired. There's a flute position open for you. So you can come on the bandwagon and you can play the flute. It's right next to me as the drummer. It's really fun on the bandwagon. We have good times. We spit green shit
Damn, I can't be
at
the
folks.
fan,
It's
bro. I want to like, fan her whenever she, queen, empress.
nah. Now my
Uh,
homie Bruce is handling that. My homie Bruce is handling that. But you can be flute dude. You can be flute dude. It's really fun on the Oscar bandwagon.
I'm gonna have to
I
tag
actually
TJ
wasn't
in it because I don't really do good with instrument.
uh, I actually wasn't upset about her not having a match, really, because I mean, if the women's right person whose name I don't know didn't show up, I mean, what were they gonna do? Like, who is she gonna face? Who is there left? Like,
I mean that's kind of the thing. There's nobody in Raw that actually, can challenge
mm,
her right now, except you try to pull something like Charlotte versus Asuka again.
ugh,
But yeah, like I'm not entirely sure, man. I don't know what they're gonna do with Asuka, but I'm trying to look up something real quick. That way I can't before I say anything, I'm
mm,
correct. So yeah, let's see.
I'm not. I'm not particularly upset with it. I fuck with Oscar. I would much rather her not wrestle than her being like booked in some bullshit feud that we know she's gonna win anyway. Like let them have time to think of something and then throw her out there with something cool. Because I'm pretty tired of the Oscar squash matches. I want to see her fucking do something. That's
Right.
just me.
I'm trying to look at what was the pre-show because I kind of have an idea of what it was. Before we get to
Mm.
this next match, we can talk about the pre-show for a little bit. Just because the
Oh, it was John Morrison.
yeah,
It was
John Morrison,
John Morrison. It was
Lindsay Dorado, I believe, or
that
Grand
dude.
Metalik, one of
That
them.
dude. Uh, the guy that doesn't wear shoes.
Oh no, actually it was Mustafa Ali,
Okay.
uh Ricochet, Lace,
Okay.
John Morrison,
Mhm.
Elias,
So the guy
and
that doesn't wear shoes
and
was in
then
the match.
and then Lindsay Dorado, and that's it. And one more, but Matt Riddle was not there.
Then how did he get in the thing?
He had already won an opportunity in the previous shows, like not in the pay-per-view.
Okay.
So he had a feud with Bobby Lashley already. So then Matt Riddle had a chance, and then it was gonna be Bobby Lashley, Matt Riddle, and Keith Lee, but Keith Lee had
Oh,
to
it
be
was a
pulled out.
triple threat.
It was a triple threat already,
Oh,
yeah.
I got you. I got you. I got you. I got you. I
So
got
then
you.
they did a chamber match inside the fucking. But I was just curious about if that was the only preview show
Mhm.
because the WWE Tag Team Championships, either Raw or SmackDown, were not on the show at all.
I forgot they existed. Oh shit.
Yeah, so that was kind in the IC Championship wasn't in there either. I guess it was because Apollo Crews beat the fuck out of Biggie during last 2 nights ago SmackDown,
Apollo
and
Crews beat
Biggie,
Big E.
huh?
Apollo Crews beat Big E.
No, like after the match, you
He turned
know,
heel.
yeah, he's heel. Apollo Crews is a
Really?
heel now, yeah. And he was on Talking Smack, this little podcast show after the show,
Oh.
and the interviewer was trying to get something out of him, but he wasn't talking. So Paul Heyman's talking to him, and Paul Heyman's like, "Oh, you did this because I told you about the head of the table." Rah, rah, rah. And then um fucking Apollo Crews looks at him like this, and he's like, and then he leaves. And then Paul Heyman's like, I will he was like, I will let the head of the table know. And then the interviewer is like, but he didn't say a word. It was the same silence. He just nodded at you. Do you know something we don't? And then the fucking video cut and it was fucking fire. So
Oh
I feel
shit.
like Apollo Crews is gonna be in the fucking stable with Roman Reigns
I'm
and
here for it.
Jimmy Uso. You imagine having um Apollo Crews as the IC champion, Roman Reigns Universal champion, and the Usos as the SmackDown champions. Like Like
That's
Jimmy comes
beautiful.
back. That's a beautiful sight to be seen,
Yeah.
man. It's just so beautiful. But yeah, I just wanted to make sure that I knew my facts before because I didn't see the pre-show.
Mm,
But I kind of knew that John Morrison had to win a chamber match or he had to win a qualification match or some shit like that because the next match on the card was Bobby Lashley versus versus Riddle versus John Morrison.
John Morrison was in that match.
Yeah, it was all three of them.
Shout out to Johnny.
Right. Yeah, I know, right? So it was John Morrison, Bobby Lashley, and Bobby Lashley. Like the match was good.
Mm,
It was a great match. It was entertaining. Towards the end, you had Bobby Lashley do the full Nelson on John Morrison, and Matt Riddle. Well, Riddle came in, and I can't. I'm always gonna call him Matt Riddle. Like I'm not gonna call him Riddle. Like I refuse. Fuck it. Matt Riddle grabs a fucking grabs MVP's cane or
mm.
little thing and hits Bobby Lashley with it. Bobby Lashley ends up getting out of the ring, and then Matt Riddle does his special move on John Morrison. One, two, three. Matt Riddle is your new WWE United States champion.
So Bobby wasn't pinned.
Bobby was not pinned, no.
Oh.
So Bobby was pissed as hell,
Uh-huh.
and later down the show we'll know why. I mean,
Uh-huh.
and what he does. But
Uh-huh.
yeah, the match was a good match. I feel the fact that that Bobby Lashley got fucked up by Matt Riddle, and then John Morrison hit Matt Riddle and did Starship Pain. It was a fucking beauty to
Yeah.
see. And then and then he still kicked out. I think he kicked out at one. I don't fucking know, but
Mm,
he didn't sell that shit at all. And it was a
yeah.
great match. The ending was okay. I feel like if you were pushing Bobby Lashley this much, he should be a world champion contender. So I feel like they did a good thing in removing the championship off of Bobby Lashley and giving it to Matt Riddle because Bobby Lashley's
Mm.
been having it for like 200 something days just because he
He's
hasn't been
had it
defending
all.
it at all. But yeah, I feel like it was a good decision. The only bad problem about it is that we are gonna have to end up having Bobby Lashley versus Matt Riddle later down the line for a rematch.
Mm.
I'm not too sure if it's gonna take. I don't know if Fastlane's before. Fastlane's in March, I believe, and then April is yeah, Fastlane I believe is in March. So fuck it. So yeah, I don't know if he will end up losing it back to Bobby Lashley. Um, if anything, later down the card, we will know what's gonna happen. What were your thoughts about the match? Did you enjoy it?
I say shout out to John Morrison for being used. He's really lucky that he's got this whole like long standing thing with Miz, because it's like when other people come back and they're like legends, we'll see them once or twice and then they get jobbed out and they're just kind of in the background. I think he's really benefiting from being with Miz so much because he could easily be forgotten and then we would just never hear from his ass again.
But in fairness to John, he's an individual great wrestler. He's actually a better wrestler than Miz himself.
Oh, no doubt.
Um, but like
But so,
I just appreciate that he's always on every show.
mm,
We haven't seen him in we haven't seen him in the WWE, uh thing for over a lot of years.
yeah.
But quickly, I want to mention that in the Royal Rumble, there was a surprise entrance at number 8, and it was my dog, my Caribbean brother, Carlito. And I saw him the next day, and after, um, some interviews came out saying that they were not going to resign him. And I feel like he was way too in shape. I feel like he deserved another shot. I just wish, we get a Carlito down the line or Carlito goes to AEW and win championships. I just feel like um he still has talent at the age that he has because he started wrestling at a young age. So when he was in WWE, he was a young buck, and we haven't seen him in like 10, 11 years. And then he comes in the Royal Rumble. So shout out to him.
Yeah.
Let's see. Next. Well, Keith Lee, hope you get better. We'll see you soon. Hopefully, you beat Matt Riddle for the championship later down the line. But I feel
Hopefully.
like Matt Riddle should have at least 100 days with the title, at least 100,
Sure.
to solidify his first reign.
Sure.
Um, Women's Tag Team Championship match: Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler versus Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair.
So fuck this match for a second. When you have Sasha versus Miss Belair, who's the face, who's the heel?
The heel is Sasha, I believe,
Okay.
because if Bianca was the heel, she would have not been crying and she would have been saying how she was gonna whoop somebody's ass and win the fucking rumble. She was crying. She was like, I won the rumble.
Okay.
Uh, I'm uh, I'm gonna have a shot. She never said I'm gonna beat them, but
Mm,
I feel like it's gonna be a great match. You know, I don't know. I don't know if I want Sasha to lose, but I want Bianca to win.
mm,
I don't know. I don't know what's going on with me internally,
mm,
but I just feel like it's way too soon for Sasha to lose.
mm,
And because all of Sasha's reigns were small, I feel like she deserves a long title to hold on to.
mm.
And at the same time you have Sasha. If she loses in WrestleMania, I don't even remember the last time she actually won a WrestleMania. Um It probably was a triple threat match. No, that was actually Becky Lynch.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a lot of things. I just feel like she deserves more opportunities and she's not getting them. But on the other hand, you have an upstart, great talent in Bianca Belair,
Yeah.
and it kind of rips you apart as a wrestling fan, but you can't help but just be intrigued to see the match and see how it plays out. Go ahead.
So, like, with everything you just said, with these two superstars that you just mentioned, right? That goes back to what I was saying earlier about how you have Sasha Banks, who's like a current, really good person, right? Then you got Bianca Belair, who's clearly next up. She's going to be that like next wave of, okay, now these are going to be the veterans and shit like that. The equivalent of what we talked about earlier is if fucking Trish Stratus comes back, says, fuck Bianca Belair, hey, Sasha, it's me and you at Mania. That's the equivalent of what Edge is doing. And I don't feel like we're keeping the same energy because it is the exact same thing. It's the same thing. If Trish Stratus came back and said, fuck the new talent, Sasha, it's me and you, we would be enraged. But because we like Edge, no one says a fucking word. And I'm not letting this shit go. I'm going to bring this up every chance I get because motherfuckers are not keeping the same energy.
Oh God. Okay, so
Edge can be here, that's fine. But you can't just say fuck everyone and put him to the main event.
I mean, I don't know. I just feel different about it. I just don't fucking know what to think no more. Wrestling's been in my life for a long ass time, and I guess this nostalgia, just like you fucking rave about Jeff Hardy and you ride his fucking dick.
But I don't want him to be
I
champion. But
I
I don't
mean,
want him to be champion.
you don't want Jeff to be champion. When he won the IC championship, you were raving. You were like, hell yes.
I see championship. He
That
can't
don't
take the
matter.
title from Drew McIntyre. He can't take the title from Roman Reigns. Absolutely not.
I mean, you
That
never
doesn't
know
make
that.
sense.
You never know, bro. You never know.
Doesn't make sense.
They be on the WWE bullshit. Surprise roll up here, surprise roll up there.
Mm, I'll
Eh,
take it,
I
but
mean,
that's just not.
I can agree with you that I'm not keeping the same energy towards the women match, but it's not like Sasha Banks is like a talent that was here like 20 years ago and she comes back.
That's not what I'm saying. That's
Yeah,
not what I'm saying.
I know. You're saying that if Trish Stratus, came back,
Yes.
but the thing is, we already seen Trish Stratus versus fucking Sasha Banks, so it's like it's like not even like remotely possible. And even if it did happen, it would be like outrageous because we're like, oh, why the fuck are we doing this shit again?
Mhm.
But because we've never seen it with Edge, it's like passable.
Is it
I pass it, bro.
because the Drew McIntyre thing, right?
Oh God, here we
He
go,
has
bro.
to go back and forth with Brock Lesnar. We're all sitting here like, oh my God, it's the Brock Lesnar thing. That passes. It's a normal feud. Then fucking Goldberg, old ass, gets wheeled out there. Same shit. We're all bitching and moaning. Edge does the exact same thing. And because we haven't seen this particular matchup before, it's okay. That's
Yeah,
fake as fuck. Taker cannot come back. Taker cannot come back and beat Drew McIntyre. And you know that's not okay.
I
Who
know.
cares if it's Taker? You
Yeah,
know that shit's not okay.
yeah.
Hollywood Hulk Hogan cannot strut his ass out there and say, oh, Roman, brother, I want to see you. Man, even fucking Cena, motherfuckers would be rolling their eyes. But because it's Edge,
I think you're over exaggerating, sir. I feel like you should let this pass and
when
see
that
what
motherfucker
happens.
wins the championship,
When he wins
he
the
has this
championship,
long ass reign.
okay, listen,
I want to check in again. I want to
listen,
check in
we
again a few months later when Edge has been champion for a goddamn year, just shitting on talent. I'm gonna check in again and say, so how are you feeling now?
listen, man. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens.
But shout out to Sasha.
Yeah, Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair versus Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler. Thoughts about the match, sir?
I like Nia Jax.
Mm, right.
I like Shayna Baszler.
Mm-hmm.
I like them as champions.
Right.
I don't care if no one agrees with me.
Uh-huh.
That's my thoughts.
Um, my thoughts, on the other hand, which are the more informative thoughts, because I actually analyze wrestling. My thoughts about the match. It was a good match. I just fucking hate how you had Nia pin Sasha. If they were gonna lose, have it as a DQ. Now you have the fucking champion looking like a fucking bitch. I mean,
Yeah.
excuse my French, but shit. Like not like that. I mean,
Mm,
even if it was fucking uh Roman Reigns, I would have still called him a bitch. I'm
mm,
sorry. I
mm,
know it
mm,
just slipped out.
mm.
Um Anyway, you just look at Sasha Banks as a champion, and then you're like, oh, she looks weak because she lost to Nia Jax. Now Nia Jax is gonna be like, I ain't paying the champion. I deserve a shot, and then she's gonna get a shot at fucking Fastlane, and then uh, and then and then if he fucking wins, then we're gonna have fucking Nia versus uh fucking Bianca Belair, or if Bianca regrets herself and be like, oh, I'm going for Oscar. Like, I just don't know what to feel. I feel like if they were gonna let fucking the fucking champs, the fucking tag champs win, I feel like it should have been like a DQ, or it should have been like a surprise roll up or some shit.
Yeah.
And I don't feel like they should have pinned the champion, just because I guess it sets up a feud later down the fucking line, but it still makes her look weak. And like, like I said, like I just hate that part.
Mm,
Not so much the match. The match is great. They are beautiful. They're talented. They're all talented. Nia Jax is a fucking amazing. She's a fucking uh fucking train. You got fucking Sasha Banks as a fucking boss horse, and then you fucking have Bianca Belair as the EST, and you'll have a fucking background MMA champion.
yeah.
Rest MMA fighter.
Mm,
Um, and then you have all these fucking mixed things, and it's just a great motherfucking match. It's like all the elements were there. It's just the ending was what got me. It was the ending for me, and I feel
yeah.
like they should have pinned. It could have been like, oh, um, they injured Sasha, and they started both dumping down on Bianca, and then you have Bianca versus one of them, at Fastlane because Bianca feels like she was cheated because they were double teaming her or some shit like that. Like
Mm,
I would have gone with that instead of having them beat the champion, and now the champion is looking weak as hell, and now you
mm,
have another fucking championship match when literally the only championship matches that you should be having at Fastlane anywhere are the tag team championship matches because you ain't doing shit with them anyway.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
and I apologize again. When I get this emotional about something I love, I just say
Mm,
shit, and then it's just the way I talk. So fuck it. I mean, I'm sorry.
mm.
Shit. So, what you think anything specific about what I said, or do you agree with anything?
I mean, I agree with it. They have backed themselves into a little bit of a corner, but at least it's more interesting than 90% of the other feuds. I mean, like everything else is very like it's very binary. Like we know from here, it's Edge and it's Roman. Like there's no real room for anything else on the Raw side. Like it's very much it's person in person. They're probably gonna like, but this there's so many different options of like, okay, could that affect that? Or if so and so was penned, maybe that could have led over to something else. It's just so much more interesting on this side, and you're not even including Asuka, who's the other branch champion, and you just now rattled off about 5 other possibilities just from this one match. Feuds like that are a lot more interesting than just person versus person conflict match. It's
I
a lot
mean,
more interesting.
I guess your point is accurate, but I just feel like if they were gonna pin Sasha, it shouldn't have been a clean pin.
Mm,
I mean, she literally, well, yeah, it wasn't a clean pin because she got distracted by Reginald, but fuck it. Like, let's say she got out of the Swanton bomb and she tried to hit him, and he came in the ring trying to help her, and there was an
mm,
actual fucking distraction because all he fucking did was give her a bottle. If she would have turned around, the ref was right there. He could have seen her.
mm.
Like, come on. Like, that was an excuse for a distraction. If I was Simon Miller from What Culture, I would pull my fucking sign down and fucking
Mm.
put another tablet on the fucking chart.
How much is
And
he up to at this point?
I think he's like 80 distractions in just the month of fucking February.
It's
Like,
not even March yet.
it's not even March yet. Yeah, it's crazy. So
Maybe
yeah,
they
that
were
was
trying to
my
avoid that.
yeah, right. That was my thoughts about the match. I
Okay.
feel if there was a distraction needed, you should have fucking done it right.
Mm.
The next match on the card is the WWE World Tag Team I'm just playing. The WWE Championship match where it was your boy Drew McIntyre, your boy AJ Styles, your man Jeff Hardy, Randall Keith Orton, Sheamus, and a surprising Kofi Kingston. I'll let you go first.
Okay. I got multiple points. I got multiple
And don't
points here,
talk about the
essentially.
aftermath. You have to talk about the actual
No,
match.
no, not yet, not yet, not yet,
Yeah,
not yet.
yeah, yeah.
So, as previously stated in my last point, I'm not letting this shit go. Um, you see how they're, using Randy Orton? See how he's someone who's been in the company since like, I don't know, like 2001. See how they're using him? See how it's like every now and again he might get a world championship. He's also a full timer, but that's not here nor there. But see how they use him. They have him in there. He's a big name. It's a big deal. He gets pinned first. Oh my God, that's Randy Orton. But you don't have him fucking up a main storyline. He's there, but he's not fucking up a main storyline. So he can go back to doing the Alexa Bliss Fiend shit, right? He's being used. It's not this an old vet is either a championship or a jobber. There's an in between. There's an in between. You're misusing Jeff? Absolutely. He's not just spot monkey guy. You're misusing Edge. He's not main event guy. There's that cool in between, and Randy Orton is the embodiment of it. Randy Orton's still that guy. Randy Orton still looks strong. Randy Orton's still fucking incredible. But that's because he's being booked in a sensible way. And I fucking love Randy for that. Now, is it fucked up that other veterans don't get the same treatment or are overbooked like Edge? Absolutely. But I always point to Mr. Randy Orton anytime a motherfucker try to talk shit about my guy for being boring. Look at the way they use him. Look at the fucking way they use him. I fucking love Randy. Thought he did a beautiful job. Shout out to, was it Kofi who got the roll up?
Yeah.
Shout out to
No,
Kofi
well, no, it
Kingston.
wasn't a roll up. I don't remember if it was a roll up. I think it was the SOS thing that he does.
I felt like it
I
was a roll
guess
up.
it's called a roll up, but it was
Mm-hmm.
actually one of Kofi's moves that he's been using
Okay.
with this
Okay.
SOS thing that he just. I guess it's a roll up. I guess
Shout out to Kofi. I thought that
he
was
pinned him,
really
yeah.
cool. Made him look really, really dope.
But it
Then,
also sparked something like you had Kofi Kingston and Randy Orton like for the WWE Championship a couple fucking months ago, even a year ago, I believe.
mm,
So you had that story. Plus, you had the story of their feud in 2009,
mm,
and then it's like, oh, Randy, Randy's gonna fuck him up. Oh, and then Kofi beats him, and then now you never know. You never know if that's another feud down the line.
never know.
I just
Cool
feel
stuff.
like okay, so it was Orton and
Sheamus,
no, it was
Styles.
no, it was Orton and Kofi who started the match.
Yes.
So you have Kofi pinning Randy,
Yep.
and then after that, all I fucking see is Jeff Hardy doing twist of fate, swanton bombs. Like that's I when he wrestles, that's all I see. I don't see the wrestling in it no more. I just see the special moves.
Yep.
And I feel like they should let him do more of the things he likes to do
Yep.
instead of being so repetitive.
Yep.
Because literally back in the day, a twist of fate would have done it. A twist of fate would have pinned somebody. He didn't have to do a swanton bomb. Just X Matt.
Yep.
I mean, Matt didn't go diving from 18-foot ladders and shit. Like, and he still won with the twist of faith. Come on, man.
Yep.
Um, okay, so you got towards the end, it's AJ Styles and Sheamus
Yep.
in the pods. And AJ Styles tried to be smart after Randy got pinned and started RKOing everybody.
Mm,
And he told Omos to rip the actual pod open
mm,
because he knows Sheamus won a gauntlet match in on SmackDown, so he knows Sheamus is gonna be the last one.
mm,
So because everybody was already down, he wanted to break the door. That way he can actually go inside and actually start beating them up early
mm,
because it would be the 5 minutes that it takes for him to come out, and then the 5 minutes that it takes Sheamus to come out, a total of 10 minutes. If he would have waited until his pod opened, he would only had 5 minutes to beat their ass.
mm,
So I think it was really smart that he tried to manipulate the system because he knew it wasn't like they were both there and they didn't know who was next. It
mm,
was more like, oh, he knew he was next, so he had almost opened the chamber. That way he can roll inside and start fucking everybody up because they were already fucked up anyway.
mm.
So I think that was a really clever, smart idea. Then you have Adam Pierce coming out and telling Omos he has to fucking go. Um, towards the end, you got Kofi taking an L, Jeff taking an L. So your three are AJ Styles, Sheamus, and Drew McIntyre. And I thought that one of them was gonna pin AJ Styles, and we were gonna have Sheamus and Drew McIntyre's towards the end because they've been having a
Yeah, I
big
thought
ass
so too.
feud recently. But they
I
fucking
thought so too.
switched the switch on us,
Yep.
and we have AJ Styles pinning considerably pinning. I don't even know what that means, but he's doing something to him because he pinned him clean as a fucking whistle. He had this amazing, phenomenal forearm that went into his skull.
Yep.
A one, a two, a three, and I think we all knew after that Drew McIntyre was gonna win the Elimination Chamber match, and so it happened. That's all I can say. That's all I can say. We were going into this pay-per-view knowing damn well that we would have to look at the wrestling inside these matches because we knew that Roman Reigns and Drew McIntyre were going to main event WrestleMania. But then Bobby Lashley comes out.
Excuse me.
Yes.
You mean God Himself came out?
Jesus came out. I'm
Yes.
sorry. Jesus came out
Yes.
in the form of Bobby Lashley,
Yes, He did.
possessing his angerness
Yes.
and just absolutely fucking the shit out of Drew McIntyre. And he done suplexed, he done fucked up. You're building Bobby Lashley to beat. And I was like, oh shit, we're gonna have Bobby Lashley versus Drew McIntyre for the WWE Championship at some point because Drew McIntyre won the match. And then Bobby Lashley comes out, and every wrestling fan is like, holy shit, we've seen this before in 2018 or some shit like that. But hey, this time is for a championship. And out of nowhere, The Miz comes out with the Money in the Bank contract, cashes in, and your new WWE champion is The Miz. Holy shit. Did that save the fucking pay-per-view? I fucking love the fact that we actually have somebody with fucking personality as a champion because that's all we fucking needed at this point. And I like the fact that they finally let a fucking Money in the Bank contract actually go through because in recent years we've had Jinder Mahal fail. I mean, Baron Corbin fail trying to pin Jinder Mahal in 2016, I believe. Then you had what was the other one that missed the fail to cash in? It was
Damian Sandow.
Damian Sandow on John Cena. And then it was Otis when he lost the briefcase to The Miz.
Mm-hmm.
But finally, The Miz, 11 years after winning the WWE Championship, is now your new WWE Champion.
Thank God this wasn't Otis. Oh my God.
Go ahead.
You fucking imagine if this was Otis?
Can you imagine if this was Otis that came out not running, but jogging,
uh,
slowly walking, hovering, grizzling over the crowd?
the fucking
Trying.
shitstorm.
Oh my God. I'm just happy that The Miz is getting. He's a great mic worker. Yeah, he's not the best wrestler, but he can cut a promo like it's his birthday every motherfucking day. And you think about you don't have this beefed up WWE champion no more. So what if who's on Raw that can feud with Miz? John Morrison, Matt Riddle when he loses the championship, Keith Lee. You got Sheamus. You got Drew McIntyre. You got AJ Styles. You got so many options, and it's like, oh, the only people that can almost beat Drew McIntyre are people that are strong looking and built and fucking and they're booked great.
Mm-hmm.
But then you have, hey, the possibility of Jeff Hardy actually winning the WWE Championship off of Miz because Miz isn't that big. Well, yeah, he's like 6 foot something, but shit, he's not like the biggest. He's not the beefiest. That's what I'm saying. Like now you have a champion that has a personality over body texture and actually cuts promos instead of claymoring everybody. What are your thoughts about Miz as the new champion and the possible outcomes of all the fucking different types of matchups you can have with that?
Well, much like with the Sasha Banks thing, I like the different outcomes. I like that it's not just a straightforward this person versus this person because feud. I like that there's different options. We have no idea where this shit's gonna go because it's like, well, Like, what was Miz and MVP talking about? Does that mean we're getting the Bobby Lashley main event? Like, there's so many different places it can go. That's cool, but I don't want to rehash everything that you said. I'll go someplace a little bit different. Um, I also agree that this saved the entire pay per view because I was like, this is just so fucking stupid. Why am I still watching this shit? That was amazing. But man, we always talk about how you need a Randy Orton to make a championship reign like actually matter. Miz is just the perfect heel because even if you appreciate what he's doing, you still hate him. When's the last time you saw a heel that everyone universally hates? That's
That
just beautiful. That's fucking
that's just
beautiful.
that's a beautiful thing. And I just
Yeah.
want to add that if Randy would have won this chamber match and been the WWE champion, you would have had The Miz cashing in on Randy Orton twice
Yeah.
and beating him twice
Yeah.
in his career. The first time The Miz cashed in his Money in the Bank contract was against um fucking Randy Orton. So that's just how I look at it. Actually, I think Miz is having the best 3 years of his life,
Yep.
of his career, from being an IC champion to being a father and now
Yep.
being a WWE champion.
Yep.
You can't beat that, man. And I really am, as a wrestling fan, I'm really happy to say that we actually have, somebody that deserves the title right now. It's not like it was fucking Goldberg who came out with the Money in the Bank contract. It was
Mm-hmm.
like somebody that's actually full time, that's been full time for over 15 years.
Mm-hmm.
And because yeah, he's been in wrestling since like 2008. So it's been
Earlier than
literally
that,
12
bro.
years, probably even
Earlier than
more than
that.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but because he wasn't tough enough before that, right? Um,
Back in the
so
ECW days, bro. The
back in
chick
the
magnet shit.
ECW days, yeah. So that probably ranges back up to like 2005, 2006.
Mm-hmm.
So I just like that, yeah, he's a veteran, but just like Randy, he's been here.
Mm-hmm.
He's been here, he's been doing his work, and he's barely injured.
Yep.
And um back in the day, like back a couple years ago, when he was having the feud with Daniel Bryan,
Mm-hmm.
Daniel Bryan said that he couldn't wrestle. And Miz, he spoke out and he was like, "Hey, I can't wrestle, but the way I wrestle gives me longevity
Mm-hmm.
because he's been doing this without injuries for a long while." And then during the storyline, he got injured, but it was just for story purposes. But he's been doing this for a long ass time without injuries, 24 fucking 7. And
Mm-hmm.
he finally got the chance because now he's a two-time WWE champion. He finally got the shot again to actually, uh, cement his legacy. I believe he's like a 8, 9 time Intercontinental champion, I
Something
believe.
like that.
He's a two-time US champion. He's a tag champ. He's a Grand Slam champion.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing that he needs is a long reign. Have him pass WrestleMania. Have him at least lose the title in September.
Mm-hmm.
September would be a good month to lose the title. Um,
Mm-hmm.
leading up to the next Royal Rumble. And I think we should move from there, but I feel like he deserves it. Um, so yeah, you want to add anything else into it?
Nah,
No?
nah, you summed it up. I mean, it's just a great fucking move and a pay-per-view that seemed very copy and paste. That's just a great fucking move. And it actually makes me want to watch Raw.
Right. And I do want to say that I actually spoiled myself. I was 30 minutes I was literally inside the chamber the last match, and I looked at my phone because somebody texted me on Instagram, and when I opened Instagram, I saw The Miz as the champion.
Oh,
Right. So like because it just literally popped out, and I was upset. But then I was like, oh, because I didn't see if it was like WWE's page. I literally
Yeah.
just saw it swiped away. I was like, oh, it was probably Photoshop or some shit like that. You imagine?
Nah.
So then I was like, I was on the edge of my seat. I'm like, bro, this can't happen. When I saw Bobby Lashley, I was like, oh, this is definitely not happening. Bobby Lashley ain't gonna let this guy literally roll up next to him and try to win the championship.
But he did.
But he did. And the thing about it is, I was looking into Instagram for for me to see a chat, and when I saw the Miz as a champion, and I was thinking, I was like, I don't know who did he pin? Did somebody like because even if that was the ending of the match, I was still intrigued to see who won the chamber match because
Mm-hmm.
let's say somebody else won the chamber match and he was like, oh, this is weaker than Drew McIntyre.
Mm-hmm.
But then when Drew won, I was like, okay, Drew, how are they letting Drew, lose to Miz, even
Mm-hmm.
if a chamber match, yeah, you're building him strong. Then Bobby Lashley comes out, I'm like, yeah,
That's how.
yeah, that's what had me. It was Bobby Lashley for me, Jesus himself. Shout out
Mm-hmm.
to him.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I don't know. I don't want to drag this on. I just feel like he actually deserves it. Um, but the reason why I bring this up on the Instagram is because um I a few minutes later I received notifications about different wrestling reactors that do pay-per-views like this, like me and you're doing. And I was seeing their things, and they said worst pay-per-view of the year. They said WWE ruined the Elimination Chamber. They were saying a lot of things, and I just want to say, as a wrestling fan, I'm not getting paid for this as much as they are with their clickbaits and everything because I know for a fucking fact that they fucking enjoyed this. They can't fucking lie to me. But even if they are upset about it, you're supposed to be upset about it.
Mm-hmm.
The Miz is a heel. You're
Mm-hmm.
supposed to hate him. And later during the night, because the actual pay per view ended around 9 a.m. 9 p.m. actually. Um, 2 hours later, the Miz does a interview, um, and he tells the lady interviewing him to give him the mic that he was gonna take care of it. And he started talking shit, and he was like, "Oh, I don't care if you guys don't think I don't deserve this. You guys are gonna have another angry Miz girl." And he actually said angry Miz girl. And I don't know if you noticed, but the first time he cashed in 11 years ago,
Is
there
that where
was
she's from?
there's a girl that was angry, a little girl.
Yeah.
So the fact that he mentions her 11 years later, and bro, it was fucking insane.
Hmm.
I actually like this promo at the end. I actually feel like he deserves it, and I'm not gonna take anything away from him. So whoever is doing these little clickbait videos, like, you enjoyed it, because as soon as your video starts, you're like, oh, WWE ruined the pay-per-view. Let's see how. Oh, having the Miz as a champion is a great thing. Like, you just said they were gonna fucking ruin
Hmm.
like, don't fucking clickbait us, bro. Like, I fell asleep at like 2 a.m. watching these ridiculous ass fucking reactions to see what I can add into the show with
Hmm.
me and you. I'm like, oh, if they have a good point, I can tell you that. I can, like, debate it and shit like that. And I'm hearing these people are like, oh, they fucking ruined that. I'm like, bro, what are you doing? Like,
Hmm.
a heel is meant to be hated, and the only fact is that when heels win championships right now, you can't look at it and be like, oh, I'm so happy for him, because you do that to every fucking heel that wins. When Roman
Hmm.
won, you were like, oh my god, yes. But when the Miz wins, you're like, oh no. But the thing is, that is what a real heel is.
Hmm.
You're not supposed to like the outcome. And as wrestling fans, we gotta do better. So that's all. That's everything my rant's gonna go to.
Hmm.
Shout out to the Miz. Shout out to Jesus himself, Bobby Lashley. And
Woo.
shout out to you for being in here in today's video.
Well said. Well said. Hope you motherfuckers heard him.
Yep. So that's the end of this episode of WWE reactions reviews. I did want to ask um you if it was possible to have this scenario where um you make promos here and I post them on my channel. That way I can then send it to WWE to see if they get you contracted, because I like you'd look like you're built like a wrestler.
What? What? Fuck you. Fuck you.
Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching today's video. They call me the king. That was your man Severman, the Bond of the Sever, I think. Anyway, it was just a ghost. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Again, I apologize for not posting a lot. I'm literally in development of my next. This is not even my fucking room, so you guys can tell what I'm doing. So goodbye.
To me, in the streets, they call me the